Welcome to 60 Skills. In today's lesson, we are going to create your life's film. If your life was a film someone was watching, would it be exciting? Would it be a great adventure? Or would it be something that you would pass on to the next channel because, quite frankly, it was a little boring? One of the truths of magic is anything generated on the astral strong enough, long enough, assuming it's physically possible, will eventually manifest on the physical. In creating your life's film, we are going to be engaging in a series of exercises that are a continuation of the single point of focus exercises learned earlier in this series. In doing this, you will be training your subtle senses of sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. And you will be doing this by recreating single phenomena subtly on the astral. So join me today as we get on to the task of creating your life's film. Welcome to 60 Skills. I will now discuss the requirements of your life's film. For this exercise, you will need a bottle of water, something that has a strong scent. I would suggest a naturally based essential oil. Something with a noticeable taste. In this case, I will be using an apple. Something that reliably makes a sound upon demand. In this case, a chime. A notebook in which to take notes, a writing device, and a timing device. Finally, for the king set exercise in this series, you are going to want something that generates two phenomena at once. Classically, this was known as the clock exercise. So I will also be utilizing a mechanical clock for this purpose, as it makes both a sound and it has a movement associated with it. Let us begin. Welcome to 60 Skills. We will now discuss the issue of consensual reality. Consensual reality is the result of the collective belief of a group of people regarding how something works. Sometimes these issues are in fact immutable, such as this chair. I am sitting in this chair, and no amount of belief or disbelief in this chair will not make it a chair. However, that is not true with a variety of things. Fads in pop psychology come and go, and there are many examples of this. Mass hysteria is another example of consensual reality gone awry. In our case, what we were going to do is we are going to use consensual reality to feed our processes of meditation and yogic ability. It is a truism in magic that anything visualized strong enough, long enough on the astral plane, assuming it is physically possible, will eventually manifest in the physical. This is how active visualization and success coaches largely operate. Now, nothing is going to get you out of doing a lot of work, but by continually visualizing something on the subtle planes, it makes it much easier for your mind to accept this as a reality on the physical plane. The result of which is it changes how you view things. It can change how you view things from potentially being an obstacle to being an aid to what you're doing. So this active visualization doesn't just apply to your sense of sight. It also applies to all of your other senses. And the stronger you can make a picture of what it is you're trying to achieve, the quicker it will manifest into the physical. Again, assuming you do the work and assuming it isn't something that is physically impossible. This is also largely how science fiction writers work, and one of the key ways in which science fiction writers usually get about a 50-year head start on the manifestation of the reality of what they're talking about. Cell phones from the TV series Star Trek are a good example in the form of a tricorder. Not physically possible at the time the series was filmed in the 1960s, but a visceral reality by the early 2000s. So, let us begin the process of learning how to use consensual reality to aid our development. Welcome to 60 Skills. Creating your life's film is largely a result of training an extension of the single point of focus exercises. Classically, these would be referred to as training a single phenomena with touch, smell, taste, sound, and vision. Well, the last one is an exercise you've already done if you've done the single point of focus exercises from this series. It largely consists of taking a simple object, looking at it, closing your eyes, and recreating that object in your mind. One of the key elements of this is this can be done with eyes open, which develops near astral vision, or it can be done with eyes closed, which aids your active visualization and out-of-body projection. So that exercise, if you've already been through the other material in this course, you will be familiar with. What is left out of this is you can also do this with your sense of taste by tasting something with a strong taste, washing your mouth out with some water, and then recreating that taste internally. You will progressively go through a series of these exercises that involve smell, as well as sound, and your sense of touch. The reason why you're doing this is the other Clair-based skills, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, so on and so forth, we have initially trained through a process which clears out obstructions in the subtle physiology or subtle anatomy. This allows subtle energy to move through more efficiently and therefore enhances your ability to develop things like clairvoyance and clairaudience. Another aspect of this involves being able to hold on to subtle phenomena. A curious part of developing these skills is initially people will have what are sometimes called flashes, where one of these subtle senses turns on for a brief moment and then for whatever reason shuts off. So you'll get a flash of a picture of something or the flash of a sound in your ear. Training phenomena with a single item is a lot like training the single point of focus exercise in that it extends your ability to hold on to that flash. Over time, this results in something that turns into an ability. It also is a very excellent way of defeating cognitive dissonance that's built up internally that says you can't do these things. So keep in mind, these are all extensions of the single point of focus exercises, but they also have the excellent addition of making it easier to develop your Clair-based skills. Let us begin. Welcome to 60 Skills. We will now discuss the issue of creating your life. One of the parts of the path of the magician that frequently does not get mentioned, even though it is crucial to what you will be doing, is that the path of the magician is largely about changing the self, as changing yourself is the easiest way to change your environment. Now, we've already talked about the role of active visualization and how additional details through taste, sound, and smell can be added in. And this is well and good for dealing with rather simple objects. But the fact of the matter is, you really need to know where you want to go in life in order to get there. This idea of things just magically landing in your lap is for the most part not true. Generally speaking, if you don't make an active decision regarding what you want to do, you will be left with a rather low energy representation of what should be happening. There are exceptions to this that deal with issues of karma, but the fact of the matter is we have a tremendous amount of control over how we choose our life to unfold, regardless of key events that are set up for us. So what I'm trying to get at here is, as you become better at these exercises of creating vibrant images with sounds and taste and touch, put some real thought into what you want to do with your life. Because once you know what you want to do, visualizing that and making that a reality becomes much, much easier. And also keep in mind there will of course be quite a bit of failure along the way. It is simply the nature of reality that most successful people, regardless of how gifted they are, have to work really hard for a very long period of time to make what they desire to happen manifest. That part tends to get left out as well. Or as one of my friends once said, an overnight sensation only 35 years in the making. So, as you get better at developing a picture of what you want your world to look like, take some time out to actually write down somewhere what it is you're looking to achieve. And keep in mind, these don't have to be earth-shattering goals. It can be something as simple as attaining a certain degree in school, buying your own home, running your own small business, the fact that you want to have a loving family around you or have children. Making a note of that and frequently revisiting it and making the effort to visualize what you want that to look like has a pretty common tendency to make things turn out that way. So again, I would encourage you to put some serious time and effort into thinking about what you want your life to look like. Welcome to 60 Skills. We will now discuss the role of posture and breath. Performing any of these exercises is made much easier by having a stable seated position. A basic stable seated position that can be utilized is one in which you are sitting with your back erect, pulling from the top of the head as if suspended by a string, placing the tongue on the roof of the mouth or behind the two front teeth, and breathing in and out of the nose or in through the nose and out of the mouth. This performs a basic function of simply aligning the body, which makes it easier to pay attention because you're not placing attention on having to support your body in an odd position that may cause discomfort. This is part of that equation. The other part of the equation involves the training of the breath. Simply put, this is a very basic form of pranayama. Whether you choose to breathe in and out through the nose or in through the nose and out of the mouth during these exercises is in fact irrelevant. Simply choose one and stay with it. Your breathing pattern in point of fixation, however, is also important. There are many different ways to breathe, and you can look these up. A simple one classically used in hermetics utilizes a 4-count inhalation. So you inhale to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then inhale again. Whether you choose to do this or simply inhale, expanding the abdomen, and exhale, allowing the abdomen to relax and pushing the breath out, is up to you. However, you'll notice that sometimes in meditation, your meditation becomes broken because for whatever reason, your breathing pattern has become irregular. You want to choose a regular pattern of breathing so you do not become distracted. At advanced levels of practice, there are specific reasons for doing that, none of which are worth getting into at this point in time. So the takeaway from this short clip is, 1, have a stable seated position. 2, have a stable breathing pattern. Putting both of those together makes the process of paying attention to something and not being interrupted much easier. Let us begin. Welcome to 60 Skills. We will now cover twofold visualization. Classically, this has been called the clock exercise. Up until this point, we have only trained one phenomena at a time, and it's important to keep in mind that when training a single phenomena at a time, that is all you want to do. You don't want to mix your sound training up with taste or your sight training up with smell, so on and so forth. However, at the end of the day, you want to be able to build vibrant pictures that include more than just the picture, that include sound, sensation, touch, and so forth. This is your first attempt to do this. Classically, this is known as the clock exercise for the simple reason that mechanical clocks like this one make a ticking noise and they have a moving hand. So this allows you to train movement, which is a visual phenomenon, with sound. So again, this is performed as all the other exercises in this series are for 5 minutes without interruption. Again, if you are trying to develop astral vision, you will want to do this with your eyes open. For purposes of this demonstration, we will be doing it with eyes closed to aid the development of visualization skills and out-of-body projection skills. I will add one caveat in that if you are performing this exercise with eyes open, when you are performing the exercise with eyes open, make sure the clock is outside your line of sight. Additionally, if the noise is particularly loud, this one is not, some are, you will want to remove the battery from the clock or otherwise stop it. Again, if at any point in time you lose focus, note the time on your timing device, mark it down in your notebook, look at the object again, and restart the exercise. Again, not spending more than 10 to 15 minutes per day on any individual exercise of this kind. Let us begin. Okay, I was interrupted once at the 2-minute and 37-second point. Not too bad. So again, this is normally referred to as twofold visualization or the clock exercise. Anything that involves two distinct aspects, maybe an oil lamp burner that's scented, or something of this nature, can be used. As you progress through these exercises, you are going to be building progressively more complex pictures of things. And we will get to why you will want to do that in a moment. Let us begin.